Can you help us make a difference in ensuring no story is left behind? Welcome to the first part of our No Story Left Behind challenge, where you'll use a selection of records to explore one family's wartime story: the 1911 Census of England and Wales, military records, and birth, marriage, and death records, otherwise known as BMDs. So let's meet our family. This is David Griffiths of Bury in Glamorganshire. In a 1915 newspaper article, it stated that Mr. Griffiths had 5 sons fighting for king and country. Alongside this article was a photo of 5 soldier brothers. A second article published individual photos of David and his sons, along with their ranks and regiments. The sons were named Hugh, Richard John, Nicholas, Ernest Evan Quinton, and Reginald Stanley. Imagine if this was your starting point. Where would you go next? How might you unearth their story? As we progress, feel free to pause this video so you can follow along the steps and go at your own pace. The first place we're going to look is the 1911 Census of England and Wales. This way, we'll find David, his wife, his children, plus their address, occupations, and years of birth. These will all be key clues as we start to explore their wartime service and breathe life into their story. We're going to head to findmypast.co.uk and choose Search, then Census Land and Surveys. We'll add David in first, his given name, and Griffiths into last name. We get quite a few results here, but that's okay. We can continue to add a few more clues to narrow down our search. We can add the county of Glamorganshire. That's good, but we can narrow it down a little bit further. And as we know the names of some of his children, let's add Quinton in as another household member. We're choosing Quinton because it's a relatively unusual name for the period. We want the 1911 census result listed in the middle. Select first the transcript page. We see an address of 8 Hinton Street in Cardiff. So let's take a look at this together. A quick scan on the rest of the transcription finds the record matching David and the names of some of his sons. We see Quinton and Reginald here. There are other children too: Cretan, Cyril, Edna, and Gwynful. David's wife is named Sarah. Let's make a note of all these names and years of birth. We might need them later. We should also check the original record to ensure we don't miss any other vital clues. Choose to view the original image, and if you're on a computer, you can do this easily by selecting it on a right click and open the image in a new tab. After looking at the original image, we learn that David and Sarah have been married for 27 years, have had 11 children in total, 10 of whom are still living. It's an incredible set of information just from one record. Now that we have years of birth for the children, let's see if we can find out a little bit more about some of the soldier brothers and the impact the First World War had on them. Can we find out how many of them made it out alive? We'll head to Search and then Military, Armed Forces, and Conflict. Choose First World War, and then we'll search for Nicholas Griffiths, born 1892, just as a starting point. Then, to narrow down our results, we'll add in the word borderer into regiment. We know from the newspaper articles that he served in the South Wales Borderers Regiment. So we're taking that clue and applying it here. There are 6 results, and if we choose the first one, we learn that 2nd Lieutenant Nicholas Griffiths of the 7th Battalion South Wales Borderers, the son of David and Sarah of 9 Windsor Road in Bury, died on 11th of July, 1916. He was just 25 years old. A very young 25 years old. How many of us have a similar story in our own family tree? Do you? Have you taken the time to understand how and when and where the circumstances of that death occurred? And if we look through the other results, we learn that he was tragically killed in action. He was awarded the British War Medal and the Victory Medal, plus the 1914-1915 star. He'd also disembarked prior to the 4th of November, 1915. Together, these records build up a picture of a dedicated serviceman who gave his life for king and country. The British War Medal was awarded to officers, men and women of British and Imperial forces who served in World War I. And the Victory Medal was awarded to all those who received the 1914 star or the 1914-15 star. As Nicholas received the latter, that tells us that he served fighting in the Central European powers during 1914 and 1915. All of these records combined tell us a great deal more about Nicholas. Now let's turn our attention to Reginald Stanley, another brother. We know from the newspaper article where his photo appeared that he was in the South Wales Borderers, and we know from the 1911 census that he was born in 1896, so we can add that as his year of birth. Let's do the same again and head to the military records. Then to narrow it down, let's go to medal rolls and honors. By doing this, we learn that Reginald was awarded the prestigious Military Cross during the Great War. I do wonder what he received that for. But don't worry, we'll find out in one of the upcoming sessions. How would you react if you learned your ancestor was awarded the Military Cross? Would you want to find out more? I certainly would. By using these records, we've made good strides into the Griffiths wartime story. By looking at their household in the 1911 census, we've learned where they lived, the name of their mother and other siblings, and their dates of birth. It makes you wonder, how did David, Sarah, and the younger siblings feel watching these older brothers go off to war? How do you think they felt when Reginald was awarded the Military Cross or when Nicholas was killed in action and never came home? Be sure to come back next time, where we'll pick up their story again and explore even more exciting records and even solve the puzzle of the mysterious Griffith brother.